What's going on, Twitch? Artemu, the Violet Wizard here, and today we're continuing Pokémon Emerald. Last time we began our journey in the Hoenn region, received our starter Pokémon, and made our way all the way to Rustboro City, the site of our first ever gym battle. Woo! So since last time I've made a few adjustments to our party. The team is a little higher level than next time, so Jerk's now 15, and I decided to level up Pocky a few times too to level 10, just so she would have much better chance of finding some good items for us. Shanty remains relatively unchanged. If you're going with a Torchic this playthrough, I kind of recommend that you get it at least one more level before taking on the next gym, which we'll see how things go here. But yeah, so far we have managed to do everything we are capable of doing before taking on our first gym. And depending on how things go here, we might be taking on more than one gym in this stream. So that'll be very interesting if we manage to do that. Very excited for this session. And as you can probably notice from the left side of the screen there, I've drawn some art of our new teammates just because they're like a family to me, and I can't wait to watch them grow in this journey and get to see them evolve and stuff. It's all very good. You can check out more art like that at the DeviantArt link down there. And with that, let's go take on the first gym. Yo, how's it going? Listen, my friend, would you like to become the champion? I'm no trainer, not me, but I can sure give you winning advice. That's settled then. We'll aim for the Pokemon Championship together. It's your job as a trainer to collect gym badges, am I right? But gym leaders aren't pushovers, and that's where I come in. I'm here to provide expert advice. Roxanne, the gym leader, is a user of Rock-type Pokemon. The Rock-type is very durable, but it can't stand Water-type and Grass-type moves. Come see me afterwards if you beat the gym leader. Well, go for it. So this gym should be very familiar to you if you played the original Red and Blue, because the first gym in those games is also a Rock-type gym. Don't take us gym trainers lightly. I'll show you why we're better. Oh, don't worry, I won't take you for granted. Youngster Josh here starts off with Geodude, Rock Ground type. Very high attack and defense, so you want to wash these guys away with special moves, preferably grass and water. So what I would recommend for this gym for you, especially if you went with Torchic as your starter, is to try and capture either a Lotad, which you can get on Route 102, or catch a Shroomish from Petalburg Woods, because they will have a very good chance of beating this gym. If you can't beat me, you won't stand a chance against Roxanne. We might be in the middle of town, but so what? My rock Pokemon need room to rampage. So we got an optional double battle here in this gym. That's actually kind of why I did my training for my buddy Jerk here. As you can see, we outlevel these guys by quite a bit, but they can still give us some trouble. Something I don't think I've shown off in these... Well, there's that. You can arrange where your moves are in the mid of battle. I feel like there was something else about these. It might actually be something exclusive to, like, the future games, so I'm not going to bother with that. So I think for Jerk, Ember's not going to do a whole lot of damage since it's not very effective against Rock. But it's still a special move, so it should do quite a bit more damage than Scratch. So Shanty takes out the first Geodude very easily. And Jerk levels up to level 16. It wants to learn Peck. Going forward, I don't know how much I'm going to be using Scratch, so let's get rid of that. Of course, if you take on this gym with a Trico or a Mudkip, you'll have a very easy time here, since those starters are very good in this gym. But if you went with Torchic, I highly recommend getting it to level 16 before you face the gym leader. You'll see why very soon. So that move that Geodude just used there is interesting, Mud Sport. It's a move that temporarily lowers the damage that Pokemon will take from electric-type moves. But because these guys are part ground, it's not really the best tactic to use, because they're already immune to those types of attacks. But anyway, we just got one more opponent to deal with here. So another Water Gun should finish off the Geodude. Kind of a basic gym right now, but things get a lot more interesting going forward. Trust me.
Wow, you got some potential. Thank you.
Oh man, our challenge is one feisty customer.
Thank you.
At level 16, your Trico, Torchic, or Mudkip will evolve. This is one of the major gimmicks of the Pokemon series. When your Pokemon reaches certain conditions, they are able to completely change their form, giving them access to better stats, better moves, new typing and abilities. It's great. So Jerk has evolved into Combuskin, and wants to learn Double Kick. This is very good. It's a fighting type move, has base 30 damage, and hits twice. I think I'll get rid of Growl. So why don't we go take a look at our new Jerk here. So he is now a fire fighting type. And actually it's the first fire fighting type introduced in the series, which will be a often repeated trend in the next couple of generations. But don't worry, they don't always end up like that. For that we've already reached the gym leader. So I feel like we've done all the preparations we need to at this point. Just very quickly want to show off what items I have. I stocked up a little bit on potions and stuff, and while I was training the team, I did pick up a few new items, like a full heal. This fully restores the status of your Pokemon, which can be really good. We also got a few more X items, and also got a Repel and Escape Rope, which is all good. Those X items are very handy for certain battles, as we're going to see very shortly. So without further ado, let's take on the gym leader.
Hello, I'm Roxanne, the Rustboro Pokemon Gym Leader. I became a gym leader so that I might apply what I learned at the Pokemon Trainer School in battle. Would you kindly demonstrate how you battle, and with which Pokemon?
After playing Bioshock, I can never take this phrase, would you kindly ever again. So Roxanne here is our first gym leader. In original Ruby and Sapphire and the remake, she only has 2 Pokemon. But in this game, she uses free. Leading off with a Geodude, which Shanty should easily be able to take out with Water Gun. Yep, it's very good. So Wingull is an interesting Pokemon to use here because while it is a water type and is able to deal very good damage to these Geodude, you also need to watch out because it's part flying, so you are at risk of getting a lot of damage dealt to you if they can pull off their rock type moves, which we may see going forward. So we beat her 2 Geodudes, and now she's going to send out her ace. Say hello to Nosepass. It's a pure rock type, and it's kind of interesting. Very high defenses, but it's not really the best battler in this game. But even still at this point, I'm going to use an X Defend to raise Jerk's defense so he'll be able to take its attacks. Whew, it's a good thing I missed with that. Let's set up a Focus Energy so we get a chance of inflicting some really good damage here. So this is Roxanne's signature move, Rock Tomb. It's a rock-type move that has a chance of lowering the target's speed. Quite an interesting attack. A lot of Pokemon can learn it, not just rock types, making it pretty helpful. Let's double kick there. We almost took the Nosepass out. And right there, we're seeing just how effective berries can be in battle. She was able to restore Nosepass quite a bit, and she used a potion to restore even more health. Gym leaders tend to use a lot of items compared to regular trainers you encounter in the game, so definitely watch out for that. but with one more hit, we should be able to take this Nose Pass out. Another thing to note about Nose Pass is that it's incapable of evolving in this game. Its evolution Probopass, which I genuinely consider a good Pokemon, is introduced in the 4th generation, not the 3rd. With that, Jerk reached level 17. Good work, buddy.
So, I lost. Seems I still have much more to learn. I understand. The Pokemon Leagues will say the trainers will be given this if they defeat a gym leader. Please accept the official Pokemon League Stone Badge.
That is good.
The Stone Badge heightens the attack power of your Pokemon. It also enables them to use the Ancient Move Cut outside of battle. Please, take this with you.
We got TM39 Rock Tomb. As I said before, it's a rock-type attack that can lower speed. Yeah, you definitely want to be... how do I want to put this? For the most part with your TMs, I recommend being conservative with them. Try to plan out what Pokemon you're going to be using on your team, and consequently, what TMs you're going to use them on in your playthrough. Get out! Out of the way! Oh, that guy's familiar. Wait, please, don't take my goods! So we'll probably help that guy out with his goods. But for now, let's go heal up, because we did take a little bit of a beating in that gym. Luckily, Jerk really pulled through. So I really like Combusket. It's a very strong attacker. So I don't think Pocky has any items for us. Nope, okay. So, let's get moving. Hey, buddy. Oh, it's you! You're that fantastic trainer who helped me in Petalburg Woods. Help me, I was robbed by Team Aqua. I have to get the Devon goods back. If I don't, I'm gonna be in serious trouble. So, looks like we gotta deal with Team Aqua again. But that's okay. Before we actually do that, there's some stuff we can now do, and now that we have our brand new gym badge. As Roxanne said, because we have our gym badge, we are now able to use Cut outside of battle, which gives us access to a lot of new stuff in the areas surrounding Rustboro. Grr, what's going on? I was digging the tunnel without any tools when some goon ordered me out. That tunnel's filled with Pokemon that react badly to loud noises that could cause an uproar. That's why we stopped using heavy equipment for tunneling. I'm worried the goon will do something stupid and start all the Pokemon into an uproar. We'll deal with that very soon, but for now... we got some more trainers here and a few more items to collect.
Just so you know, I've never once been bested by anyone at anything.
When you lay your eyes on my Pokemon's gorgeous fur, their beauty will render you helpless. So we got both a rich boy and a lady here. Oh, we're gonna get so much money here. And they got both a Zigzagoon and a Lotad. It's actually a pretty good fight for us. Shanty and Jerk are much higher level and should be able to easily handle this team. Yeah, what I really like about Emerald compared to the original Ruby and Sapphire is they add so many opportunities for double battles in this game, and I think it really makes the combat a heck of a lot more interesting. So much so that that the GameCube Pokemon games can actually focus almost exclusively on double battles, which makes those games really cool. Very nice work, Shanty.
Oh my goodness, this is a new experience for me.
I bet it is.
Oh baby, say it isn't so.
I do not want to hear that coming from your face.
Oh no, 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 you must have my Pokemon's fur. You've ruined my hairdo too. I'll have to call my stylist now. My life of luxury affords me all that I could possibly desire. However, when it comes to Pokemon, my wealth has no meaning. Yeah, I bet so. We learn all sorts of things at the trainer school. I want to test things out for real. Let me teach you how strong my adorable Pokemon is. And we got another double battle here. School Kid Jerry and Last Janice. We got a Ralts and a Meryl. What an interesting team. These are both Pokemon that later gained the Fairy type in Generation 6. Which is pretty interesting. Definitely adds to their usability with those extra typings. Wow, good work, Shanty, getting that crit. I should probably check to see which one of these Pokemon would benefit from the Quick Claw right now, because Jerk did just evolve, so his stats could be significantly higher than what Shanty's got right now. Yeah, sorry, kid. Just a notch, really? Alright, let's look at these two and see. Speed's 35, your speed's 25. Okay, so we'll keep the Quick Claw on Jerk. The Quick Claw as a refresher is an item that makes it so that Pokemon has a chance of always going first in battle, which is really darn helpful. We get an Ether there. I don't think I went over this, but Ethers restore the power points of Pokemon. There's only a limited amount of those you can find in the game, so be very careful with them. And we got a heck of a lot more berries here. As I said before, I'm not really going to be focusing on cultivating berries in this playthrough. I'll just be picking them as I go, showing off where you can find the berries in the game. There are also some berries that you cannot obtain in the wild. Some berries you have to find through kind of interesting means. We'll go into that much later on. Hello, sir.
Oh, what am I to do? We were on our walk, Pico and I, when we were jumped by an odd fun. The scoundrel made off with my darling Pico. Oh, Pico!
That's bad. We gotta go save this guy's Pico. Hey, buddy.
What, you coming? Come and get some, then.
Really need to watch what you say, buddy.
Oh, hello, Whisma. You are not all that significant to me.
Although I did notice while I was training the team that Whisper do give quite a lot of good experience. So if you want to train before the gym, try to take on Whisper.
Ah, keel haul it all! That hostage Pokemon turned out to be worthless.
I think I made a getaway in this tunnel to nowhere.
Hey, you want to battle me?
Yeah, I got nothing better to do. Nice, got a much higher level Poochyena here than what we dealt with before. Let's try Supersonic there. Didn't work. Okay. If I'm ever in a moment where my attempts at using a status move fail, I'm just gonna go for the attack. Because wasting your turns trying to get off a status move is time that could be spent doing actual damage. But yeah, Shanty is significantly higher level than this thing. We're able to take it out very easily.
My career in crime comes to a dead end.
Yes, it has. Goodbye, buddy.
This is plain not right.
The boss told me this would be a slick and easy job to pull. All I had to do was steal some package of Devon.
You want it that badly, take it.
We get the Devon goods. See ya, buddy.
Pico! Am I glad to see you're safe? Pico owes her life to you. They call me Mr. Bridie, and you are? Ah, so you're Haley. I sincerely thank you. Now, if there's anything that troubles you, don't hesitate to tell me. You can usually find me in my cottage by the sea near Petalburg Woods. Come, Pico, we should make our way home.
That guy has a Wingull. I trust him.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Ah, that goofy goon hightailed it out of the tunnel. Go back to digging.
Yes, you can. And we can finally access this house. To get to Verdant Turf without using this tunnel, you have to cross the sea to Dewford, sail on to Slateport, then travel through Mauville. That rust turf tunnel there, first we had a huge work crew boring through rock with the latest machinery, but we had to stop. Turns out that we would have had a negative effect on wild Pokemon in the area, so we got nothing to do but roll around here doing nothing. There's a man digging his way to Verdant Turf all by his lonesome. He's desperate to get through. He says that if he digs little by little without using machines, he won't disturb Pokemon, and he'll avoid harming the natural environment. I wonder if he made it through yet. So we get kind of some backstory about this whole area with the tunnel, which is kind of interesting, adds some depth to this world. And Pocky still doesn't have any new items for us. Kinda disappointing to see that he hasn't really been pulling her weight too well. Hey buddy. Oh, how'd it go? The Devon goods? You did! You're going back! You really are a great trainer. I know, as my thanks, I'll give you another Great Ball. Thank you, buddy. With that, we now have 2 Great Balls. Don't read into that too much. Excuse me, please. Please come with me. This is the Devon Corporation's 3rd floor. Our president's office is on this floor. Anyway, I can't tell you how much I'm grateful for what you've done. By the way, that parcel you got back for us, can I get you to deliver that to the shipyard in Slateport? It'd be awful if those robbers try to take it again. So could I count on you to do that for me? Oh, that's right. Could you wait here a second? Our president would like to have a word with you. Please, come with me. Okay. What you got for us, Prez? Please, go ahead. I'm Mr. Stone, the president of the Devon Corporation. I just got word about you. You saved our staff not just once, but twice. I have a favor to ask of an amazing person like you. I understand that you're delivering a package to Slateport Shipyard. Well, on the way, could you stop off in Dewford Town? I was hoping you'd deliver a letter to Stephen in Dewford. Now, you should know that I'm a great president, so I'd never be so cheap as to ask a favor for nothing in return. That's why I want you to have this. We received the Pokénav, an exclusive item in the Hoenn region. That device, it's a Pokemon Navigator, or Pokénav for short. It's an indispensable tool for any trainer on an adventure. It has a map of the Hoenn region. You can check the locations of Dewford and Slateport easily. By the way, I've heard that sinister criminals, Magma and Aqua, I believe, have been making trouble far and wide. I think it'd be best if you rested up before you go on your way. Oh, thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Well then, Haley, go with caution and care. So let's go check out our new toy here. So we can access the Hoenn map in our Pokénav, allowing us the ability to gaze at pretty much everything we can see in the Hoenn region. So we can see there our current destinations are Dewford Town and Slateport City. How exactly are we going to cross the sea to get to them, though? You can also check the conditions of your party. This isn't really necessary for anything for the time being, so we'll go more into that much later on. If you visit the shipyard in Slateport, you should go see Captain Stern. Alright, so we got a name of who we're going to see later on. I'm developing new kinds of Pokeballs, but I haven't had much headway. Oh wow, that's a Pokénav! It came about as a result of our president's desire to learn about the feelings of Pokemon. Would you like me to describe its features in detail? No, think you'll find out just by trying the Pokénav out. We're developing a device for talking with Pokemon, but we haven't had much success. Don't worry, buddy, eventually we'll perfect it. Trying to develop a device that visually reproduces the dreams of Pokemon, but it's not going well. Don't worry, I think that idea isn't very black and white. Well, now should I work on developing next? Our company allows us to make our inspirations into reality. One couldn't have asked for a better environment as an engineer. I've been trying to develop a device that resurrects Pokemon from fossils, and it's working. You'll want to remember this specific NPC later on in the adventure. For now, let's move on.
Hi there, you're always welcome here.
Hello, welcome to the Devon Corporation. We're proud producers of items and medicine that enhance your life.
Sounds like they've recovered the ripped-off Devon goods.
The reason I didn't come here before is because of the stairs up there we wouldn't have access to at this time. What do we have here in chat? Just hang on a second here. Okay. Think that took care of things there. Looks like a couple bots snuck our way in there, which I'm flattered, but I'm not into that shit. I've been developing an added feature for the Pokénav, and it turned out great. Haley, may I see that Pokénav, the one our president gave you? There you go, Haley. I got a new feature named Match Call to your Pokénav. Using the Match Call feature, you can chat with people who have been registered in your Pokénav. Haley, if President Stone should be registered in your Pokénav. Test it out. Please give our president a call. So this is a feature exclusive to Emerald. There is somewhat of a similar feature in Ruby, Sapphire, and the remakes, but it's quite a bit different from what we got here for one important reason. We're able to call certain NPCs. Oh, Haley, since you're calling me, the Pokénav must be working properly. Other people will re-register, so try calling them up too. Good, good. You seem to be quite happy. How could I know that? It's because I'm looking down at you from my office window. Then again, as the CEO of a large corporation, I always look down on everyone. Haha, see you again. There's a lot of NPCs we're able to register with a match call. Not just major players in this story. Okay, better get back to work. Please take care, Haley. Sure thing. So now that we have our Pokénav, what I want to do is let's go heal up at the Pokemon Center. Because before we progress the plot, there's some stuff we are now able to do now that we have the Pokénav. Let's heal up the team, even though actually we got healed up from Mr. Stone, so we didn't really need that. Whatever. So what we're gonna do now is let's head back up to Route 116. Yeah. Let's go talk with a few of the trainers we fought before. This guy just has that to say. Oh wow, isn't that a Pokénav? I have one too. Please register me. You're able to register trainers that you previously fought into the Pokénav. This will be important for something much later on. For the time being, it doesn't really mean anything, but much later on this adventure, we'll be able to call the various characters we meet along this journey in order to rematch them. This is a very easy way to rack up money and experience for your team. So definitely whenever you go on the world, try to register as many people as you can. I learned the training school Pokénav can register trainers. I didn't really get what that means, so can I try it? So that's 2 people we've already registered. There's a lot more trainers in this world we're able to register, though. And you'll probably want to register all of them. We go into match call here. We can see that we have these characters registered. The trainer's close by. Talk to the person in person. Okay, that's if you are in the same route as that particular person. But you can also use check in order to get information about these various NPCs. It's kind of basically just flavor text, but I want to remember that for later. Definitely register as many NPCs as you can. And that said, I believe we're done with Prospero for now. Oh, hello there, Brendan. Oh, hey, Haley, you have a match call feature put on your Pokénav? Cool. Let's register each other so we can get in touch anytime. By the way, Haley, I walked by Mr. Briny in Petalburg Woods. I bet he was on his way home to his cottage by the sea. Haley, how's your Pokedex? Have you filled in any pages yet? Yeah, a few. Mine rules. Want to have a battle test how far you progressed? So this is exclusive to Emerald. You do not fight Brendan or May at this point in Ruby, Sapphire, or the remakes. I know you just became a trainer, but I won't go easy.
That's going to be a recurring trend throughout this playthrough, comparing stuff in Emerald to how they are in Ruby Sapphire and the remakes. Which, trust me, there's a lot. Leading off, he's got a Slugma. It's a Fire-type Pokemon that we don't have access to at this point in the game. It has good special attack, but it's very slow and doesn't have a lot of HP or defenses. So Shanty easily takes it out. And next we got his starter Pokemon. In this case, he has Mudkip. Hopefully Shanty will be able to take this thing out, because if we go at this thing with Jerk, you'll have a bit of trouble with this guy. But yeah, this is a pretty simple battle. Your rival just uses 2 Pokemon, and I guess the starter could give you some trouble if you don't have a good counter to it. But with my current team here, we don't have a lot to worry about. Take this thing out with 1 more wing attack, and we're good. Very nice, Shanty. You're pretty good. Damn right. By the way, you know Mr. Briny, the guy just passed? I bet you didn't know this, it's just moved here, Haley, but Mr. Briny was once a great sailor. Thank you for that very informative information that I could not have gathered on my own. And while we're on our way back exploring all these areas we've been to before, we have a lot of stuff available to us now. We can use Cut on this tree to get an X accuracy. That's not all that helpful right now, but it will be for later. And let's talk to a few of the NPCs we have here. You're strong, but should I register you in my Pokénav? Maybe I shouldn't. Okay, sure, I will register you. Last Haley is another trainer we're able to rematch. You've obtained a Pokénav. I'll gladly register you. After all, I have plenty of money. Rich Boy Winston is registered in the Pokénav. That's very good because rematches with rich boys and ladies can get you a lot of money. Before we move on, let's head back in here and receive our free berry from this girl. Very nice. I really appreciate that. Let's head down to Route 104 to get to Petalburg Woods. So it's now this section of the woods we're able to access here. The area back here is kind of big. There aren't any new Pokemon or trainers to fight in this area, but it's just an area where you can acquire some handy stuff. What we picked up there is a tiny mushroom. This is just an item whose only purpose is to be sold for money. Oh neat, that's the batch of Rustboro Gem. You must be a trainer. You should try using this item. This girl gives the Miracle Seed. It's a very good held item. If a Pokemon holds that item, its grass-type moves become stronger. Besides Miracle Seed, I think there are other convenient items for Pokemon to hold. If you started with Trico, I definitely recommend equipping that to it. I don't have a grass-type right now, but much later on in the adventure, we will. So that'll be a good item to use on that when we eventually get one. I believe down here, there's an item for us. Hello there, Silcoon. You aren't all that important to us. Let's take you out with some wings. You're so good, Shanty. People always overlook the Wingull family, but I really like them. There's another tiny mushroom in that bare patch of grass. And over here, we get an X attack. That'll be very good for the battles ahead. There are definitely some battles that could give us some trouble. Oh wait, there's one thing I want to do before we leave Petalburg Woods, and that's talk to the trainers in here. Definitely don't miss this. Okay, we can't talk to that guy, but if we go over this way to the kid we fought with the Nikata. Want a rematch of my bug Pokemon? Grow up. I'm registering you in my Pokénav. Bugcatcher James, another trainer we're able to rematch. And if we go down here, there's another person of interest. Hello, we meet again.
We seem to be drawn together. Let's register each other in a Pokénavs. Lady Cindy's another trainer we can rematch. She gives you a lot of money if you're able to beat her, so she is very good to fight. Petalburg City hasn't changed much over here. There's nothing we can really do here for the time being. But beyond here, back on Route 102, there's some stuff for us. Thank you for the healing. Good for you, girl. Good luck with that, buddy. I've been working hard at this since I saw you before. I'd like to battle you again, so you can register me in your Pokénav. This is our last trainer of interest for the time being. With that, we've registered every trainer we're able to rematch in the Pokénav at this point. So we got all that taken care of, so it's time to move on with this story. Let's go and look at the team, our current items. So what would be very good right now? What I highly recommend before we go to Dewford is sell your tiny mushrooms and buy a couple potions. Because going forward, you're not going to have access to any shops in Dewford. So I'll buy a couple potions. Our Pokeball supply should be good right now. There isn't a whole lot of Pokemon I'm going to be catching going forward. There is one that I'm very interested in getting, but we'll get to that much later. And before we leave, so that we have some free space in our inventory, because in Pokemon Emerald, in your main item pocket, you can only hold a total of 30 items, which can be disappointing. But let's go to our box, and we'll store that Miracle Seed for the time being. Any items you don't want to hold can be put in your PC, where they can be stored indefinitely, or brought back out whenever you need them. The Miracle Seed is one of those items that will be good to us later on in this journey, but for now, it's not needed on this team. So now that we've taken care of everything around Rustboro, Mr. Briney's in his house with his little bird.
Hold on, lass! Wait up, Pico! You're Haley. Who's saying, my darling Pico? We owe you so much to you. What's that? You want to sail with me? You have a letter bound for Dewford, and a package for Slateport, then. Quite the busy life you must lead, but certainly what you're asking is no problem at all. You've come to the right man. Set sail for Dewford. Dewford it is, then. Anchors away, Pico! We're setting sail, my darling!
This is a quick way we're able to get across the sea. Thank you, Mr. Briney. Oh, we're getting a call here.
Oh, Haley, where are you now?
Sounds windy wherever you are. I just heard from Devon's Mr. Stone about your Pokémon, so I decided to give you a call. Sounds like you're doing fine, so that's fine with me. Take care now. So our dad gets registered automatically in your Pokénav while you're moving across the ocean on the boat, which is pretty good. Oh, something I forgot to mention, you can actually talk to your mom in order to register her in your Pokénav too.
Ahoy, we've hit land in Dewford. I suppose you're off to deliver that letter to... Who was it now? Steven.
Yep. But for now, we made it to Dewford Town, a tiny island in the blue sea. There's a lot of stuff we can get here. Gorge your eyes on this. It's a silk scarf. It's right at the cutting edge of fashion, yeah? Oh, I can see your eyes twinkling. You appreciate my dazzling style. Oh, you're a delight. Here you go. I want you to have it. The silk scarf is another good hold item. The silk scarf raises the power normal type moves. It's a marvelous scarf that'll go with almost all Pokemon. Wow, you bought a cross sea to visit Dewford? Did you maybe come here because you heard about Brawly? He's so cool. Everyone idolizes him.
If you're planning on using a Slack Off or a Whisper on your team at this point, the Silk Scarf can be pretty helpful to you. Get some additional damage with your stab moves. Just don't think there's anything we can grab over there yet. There's a renowned fishing spot. You getting the itch to fish? I hear you and I like what you're saying. I'll give you one of my fishing rods. So we got the old rod by talking with this NPC. It is a very basic fishing item. And as an added bonus, I'll even throw in a little fishing advice. First, you want to face the water, then use the rod. Focus your mind. If you get a bite, pull on the rod. Sometimes you can snag something immediately, but with bigger catches, you need to time the pulls on your rod to haul them in. So there's only 2 Pokemon we are able to obtain with our current fishing rod. We'll be going over those much later. There's a lot to be said for living on a small island like this in harmony with Pokemon and the family. I left the major port of Slateport City when I married my husband here. Life goes by slowly on this island, but being surrounded by the beautiful sea, that's happiness too. Oh man, I know. I really like tropical settings, and I'd really like to live in just a very tropical paradise like this. Duper's a tiny island community. Something gets trendy here. Everyone picks up on it right away. Oh, I definitely know about that. For the time being, there's not anybody I want to use the Silk Scarf on. So let's put that away in the PC. And let's see what you people have for us. There's a stone cabin at the edge of town. I heard you can find rare stones there. Even if a Pokemon faints and can't battle, it can still use a move learned from a hidden machine. So yeah, that's something very important. Normally when your Pokemon are fainted, they're unable to use certain actions. Well, they can't battle, obviously. But if your Pokemon knows Cut, for example, and they fainted, you can still use them in order to cut stuff down. So what's going on with you, buddy? I like what's hip, happening, and trendy. I'm always checking it out. Listen, have you heard about this new simple radio? Excuse me for a second. So I just want to take a screen cap of that. That's right, of course you know. I mean, sheesh, Simple Radio. It's the hottest thing and cool. Wherever you're from, Simple Radio is the biggest happening thing, right? Sure it is. Yeah, absolutely right. Simple Radio is the definition of in right now. Duford Hall, everyone's information exchange. So the trendy saying that NPC talks about will be important to something later down the line. It doesn't affect anything right now, but you'll want to remember that for later. But now let's go see what things are like on Route 106. What do people do if they need to go to a washroom? What if my rod hooks a big one while I'm in the washroom? I just can't go. Wow, sucks to be you, buddy. You shouldn't really be having your rod out like that. Fisherman Ed here's got a Tentacool. It's a Pokemon that I used in my Pokemon Gold stream, and for good reason. Tentacool has very good bulk, especially in the special end, and it's a pretty good attacker all around with good speed and offensive stats. It's a water poison type, which gives it some very good offensive and defensive potential that way. All around, a good Pokemon, and you can actually get it with the old rod right now, so if you want to add it to your team, it's a good opportunity. I lost because I'm trying to not go to the washroom. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Pocky's got an item for us. What you got, girl? An antidote. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And this guy's got... Which do you prefer, fishing in the sea or a stream? Nah, it depends on what Pokemon you can find there. Fisherman Elliot. He's got himself a Magikarp. We've pretty much seen what Magikarp is capable of last time we were in one of these battles. It only knows Splash until level 15 and its stats are garbage. So Shanty will make quick work of this fish. And get some seafood while she's at it. It's a Tentacool there. It's actually good we picked up that antidote because Tentacool is capable of inflicting the poison status with some of its attacks. Well, that thing was very weak. Never mind. Should be easily able to handle this one. Pretty good. Like in deep sea fishing, I lost spectacularly. Fishing's great, but so is battling. If you don't mind, can we meet again? Sure thing. Registered Elliot in the Pokénav. By examining this route, you can find Stardust. This is another selling item. Can earn you a lot of money. And examine that little patch right there to get a Pokeball. Kind of thinking what I want to do right now. We should be good for what's ahead. So we could go to the gym right now, but there's also some stuff we can do over here in this cave over here. So this is the Granite Cave. Hey you, it's awfully dark ahead. It'd be tough trying to explore. That guy who came by earlier, Steven I think it was, he knew how to use Flash, so we ought to be alright, but, well, for us hikers, helping out those that we meet is our motto. Here you go, I'll pass this on to you. We get HM5 from this guy. Teach that hidden move Flash to a Pokemon and use it. Lights up even the inky darkness of caves. Well, to use it, you need the gym badge to do for its Pokemon gym. Just want to check this right now, because I don't think we're able to teach that to anyone yet. Nope, our current team cannot use Flash, even if we did have the gym badge. Even though he warned us that it is difficult to navigate this cave, if we actually are able to complete our objective in this cave without needing to use Flash. It'll make it tricky, but we're still able to do this before facing the gym. But anyway, that is Zubat, a poison flying type and a Pokemon that is much better than you would initially think it is. If you want a good flying type with some very good offensive and defensive potential, definitely pick it up. So we can see here, going down this cave, this entire area is very dark. Using the HM Flash will increase your visibility down here, but this area is not too big and not too confusing, so we should still be fine going through here. So for the time being, let's just inch our way slowly through this area and see what we are able to get done here. Another reason I wanted to come down into this cave right now is because there's a certain Pokemon that I want to catch in the lower floors of this area. It's a Pokemon that you can only find on the floors of this dungeon that are dark, so be on the lookout. You will not be able to obtain it on the upper floor where we first saw the Zubat. And here it is! Aron is a Rock Steel type Pokemon. This thing is real good. May not seem like much because of its size, but it is a very helpful Pokemon. And it's one that I want to catch for the team. Gonna use Wing Attack on this thing because, well, its typing makes it so this attack will do very low damage to it, and I want to be sure to deal as minimum damage as I can because Water Gun will absolutely destroy this thing. Okay, that should be good. Let's go grab our Pokeballs. Why not? Let's use a Premier Ball, because it's very cool looking. Yeah, just look at that. The white Pokeball with the red stripe. It's just very cool. And with that, we caught ourselves an Aron. This Pokemon I haven't really used for a few years, but definitely a good one. Aron, the Iron Armor Pokemon. A Pokemon that's clad in steel armor. A new suit of armor is made when it evolves. The old discarded armor is salvaged as metal for making iron products. Let's go ahead and give a nickname to this guy. It's a Pokemon clad in armor. So I think I'm going to name you Armstrong. Let's go check out the little guy. He has a quirky nature, which is pretty good. Rockhead. I think that is the better of this guy's abilities. Some Pokemon can have more than one ability, and it's kind of random which one you end up with. Rockhead will be pretty good later down the line for some of this Pokemon's attacks. As you can see there, it's got good attack and very high defense, but its speed is very slow and pitiful. Its attacks are pretty decent right now. Headbutt does a lot of good damage, and Mud Slap, which you were able to learn on Mudkip, is able to deal damage and lower accuracy, which can be pretty helpful. But this guy's a little lacking in oomph. It doesn't have any stab type attacks. So what I want to do is take the Rock Tomb TM we got from Roxanne, and we're going to give that to Armstrong, just so that he has a rock type move to use in battle. Yeah, Tackle is very redundant when we have Headbutt, so let's go ahead and replace that. Another reason I want to go with Aron in this playthrough is because, with the way I have my team planned, a lot of my Pokemon are a bit on the frail side. But with Armstrong, with his typing and his high defense, he'll be able to tank a lot of damage. So he'll be a very effective tank in this playthrough. Really exciting to use more of this guy. In fact, he's the lower level of these guys, so let's put you in the front. He'll be very useful against the Zubats we're going to run in here. But just a heads up, he's not going to do so well in the next gym, as we're going to see eventually. But for now, let's make our way for the rest of this cave. And that's definitely a sight to see. Makuhita is a fighting type Pokemon. It's got good attack power and also a lot of HP. This thing is a pretty good attacker all around with good offensive and defensive prowess. I guess it's also a bit faster than what you'd expect it to be, and it can learn some interesting attacks later down the line. If you're looking for a good physical attacker, I would recommend it. It's pretty good. One thing I will say is that its typing is redundant if you're going for Torchic on your team. But if using a Trico or Mudkip, I do recommend it. Also, if you're using a Makuhita on your team or a Combuskin, training them by fighting Aron is very helpful because these things are very weak to fighting attacks. So that thing lowered my accuracy with Mud Slap, which is kind of a pain. So all Pokemon have a pretty standard accuracy stat during battle that determines whether their attacks will land or not. There are moves that can affect the accuracy or evasion of a Pokemon in order to make them easier or harder to hit. Definitely want to keep that in mind throughout this journey, because it can be quite annoying when you are unable to land a hit on your opponent. But for now, as we're just making our way for this cave, what are some topics I can talk about? I mean, besides stuff that I haven't talked about already. I really don't know right now. Things have been pretty standard so far. As usual, I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and... that's annoying. Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team DX. There's some other stuff I've been kind of interested in playing on Steam lately. Because very recently, the Destroy All Humans remake was recently released, and that game looks so good. So when I was a kid, I had the original Destroy All Humans on PlayStation 2, and it was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. Just being able to play as this alien who's going around abducting humans and destroying towns in his flying saucer, it's just a really good time. Armstrong, you okay there, buddy? We've been at this battle for quite a while and you haven't done any damage to this thing. So yeah, that's a downside to Rock Tomb. It's not very accurate. Already took so much damage from that thing. Just gonna go ahead and potion you up. Yeah, don't worry, Aron is gonna be much better later down on this journey, but for now it's okay. So for this area, I think we want to hug the upper wall. Just a note about Granite Cave, we can't do everything we can potentially do here on our first visit. We'll have to come back here much later on the journey, but I'll definitely be showing that off later, because you can get some good rewards here. Especially in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because there's some really good items you can get down here. Speaking of which, this whole section where you're exploring the dark part of the Granite Cave, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, on your first visit to Granite Cave, you cannot actually visit the lower levels of this place, preventing you from getting access to Aron as well as some other Pokemon you're able to encounter down here that we haven't seen yet. If I do run into them, I'll definitely talk about them. But for the time being, we're just making our way through here. To talk about some other stuff relating to this area, this is the earliest point in the game where you can run into Geodude. So if you're looking for a rock and ground type for your party, I would recommend it. Again, we're going to hug the upper area. There are more of these rocks that we saw back in Rusturk Tunnel here. We'll want to remember these for later because there's something we can grab here much later on in our journey. Switch to Jerk so that we can take these guys out more easily. I'm quite happy with how the team is developed right now. We don't really need to do a ton of training before the next gym. It can be pretty tough if you're not prepared, but I think with our current team we should do pretty well against our next major opponent. So what's some other stuff that's been going on lately? I've been hearing really good things about this Ghost of Tsushima game. I really love the whole Japanese aesthetic, and that game is just brimming with Japanese content, and it just looks really good. Got a super potion from Pocky. I really appreciate that, especially because... yeah, let's heal up Jerk. He could still be useful down here. Up here, if we go up here and examine this rock, you can get an Everstone. So this is an interesting hold item. If you have a Pokemon hold an Everstone, it will prevent that Pokemon from evolving. There are reasons for keeping your Pokemon unevolved at times, because one thing about Pokemon is that when they evolve, typically, it takes them much longer to learn certain attacks. I'm actually happy we managed to run into this guy now. This is Sableye. This thing is a dark ghost-type Pokemon. our first instance of a Ghost-type Pokemon in this adventure, meaning it is completely immune to normal and fighting attacks. In fact, what's interesting to note about Sableye is because of its type combination, and the fact that this is still gen-free, Sableye has no weaknesses. So if you're looking for a Pokemon that can be pretty decent overall in battle, Sableye is definitely one that can be useful. Sadly, this thing is incapable of evolving, and its stats are just average, so it can be an alright Pokemon to add to the team. There was a time I was actually considering adding it to my team, but I didn't really know if it would synergize well with what I was going for in this party. There's definitely some Pokemon I'm very interested in adding to the team later on, but we'll have to focus on that much later. Speaking of Sableye, I think now's a good time to talk about version-exclusive Pokemon. Because throughout the series, the different versions of what Pokemon games you're playing determines quite a few things. Most notably, certain Pokemon are exclusive to certain versions of the game. Sableye can only be found here in Sapphire and Emerald. In Ruby, the Pokemon you can find here is instead Mawile, a Steel-type Pokemon that is decent overall. Kind of like Sableye, its stats are a little on the lacking side. It's definitely good when you get it here at first, but it kind of lags compared to other team members later on in the adventure. But yeah, Mawile is definitely an interesting Pokemon. One thing to note if you're playing Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is that I would actually recommend adding a Mawile or a Sableye to your party. Not only does a Mawile gain the Fairy typing in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but both Mawile and Sableye have access to Mega Evolution in those games, which makes them significantly better than they would normally be in this game. So yeah, I would definitely recommend using a Sableye or a Mawile in those games. Here in Gen 3, not so much. My name is Steven. I'm interested in rare stones, so I travel here and there. Oh, a letter from me. Here you go, buddy. Okay, thank you. You went through all this trouble to deliver that. I need to thank you. Let me see. I'll give you this TM. It contains my favorite move, Steel Wing. So TM47 there gives us Steel Wing. Your Pokemon appear quite capable. Keep training, you could even become the champion of the Pokemon League one day. That's what I think. I know, since we've gotten to know each other, let's register one another in our Pokénavs. Aw, thanks, buddy. That's very nice of you. Now, I got to hurry along. I'm certain he's going to play a very important role in our adventure, but maybe not the role you might assume. I don't think there's anything else for us in this room. I think it's just a standard area in the upper levels. Yeah, let's take out the Zubat and then want to move on. Because now that we delivered the letter, there is something we are able to obtain that will be very important to us. Especially for training up Pokemon that are lower level than your current team, as we will see very shortly. So taking care of everything we're doing Granite Cave for the time being, so let's move out. One thing I'd recommend here is that if you want to leave a dungeon very quickly, you can use an escape rope in order to automatically leave the dungeon. Of course, because I want to keep leveling up Armstrong, I'm not going to do that, just so we can gain a little bit more experience from the wild Pokemon. So So I believe there's one other Pokemon you can obtain in the Granite Cave that we haven't seen yet. It's also a Pokemon that you could run into on Route 116, and I actually ran into a few of them while I was training up my party before fighting Roxanne. But we'll focus on that much later on, depending on if we can actually encounter one. Nope. It seems like we're just about done here. Okay. There's another downside to Rock Tomb is that it doesn't have a whole lot of PP, so you can run out of it very quickly. But Armstrong's Headbutt is still very good right now. Yeah, I'm very glad I added Armstrong to the party. I think he's gonna fit very nicely with this team. We have some pretty fast, pretty strong Pokemon, but with Aron, we're gonna have a very defensive Pokemon. We'll be able to take hits that the other party members can't. Just to go into that, the Steel type is one of the best types defensively because it has so many resistances. By the way, by delivering the letter to Steven, we now have access to Slateport. We're gonna go there much later on, but for now let's return back to Petalburg, now that we deliver that letter. And yeah, Steel-type Pokemon can be very handy on your team because they have so many resistances. Especially if you're able to get a Steel-type with a secondary typing, like I do with Aron. Because Rock and Steel actually share a few resistances, namely to Normal and Flying, which can make it so that they take -4 times damage from moves, making them very effective against a lot of different Pokemon. Now, this also comes at a price, because Rock and Steel also share weaknesses, namely to ground and to fighting. So if you're up against a ground or fighting type Pokemon with an Aron, I highly recommend switching it out. Meanwhile, we just learned Metal Claw here. That is a Steel type attack with a chance of raising attack. Can be helpful, so let's forget Harden. One thing I will note about Steel types is that in this generation, they don't really have access to the very strong Steel type moves that Steel types are much more known for. A lot of the good Steel moves were introduced in Generation 4. There are a few good Steel moves in this game, like Metal Claw and Steel Wing and Iron Tail, but they're not exactly perfect moves. And we're gonna have to wait a lot longer before Armstrong's gonna get some very good attacks. But for the time being, he's still pretty good. Again, that's why I feel like the more recent games were just very good for team building, because they give like every type of Pokemon some role to play on your team. Like, types like Steel and Rock, which are a lot more defensive, get a lot more powerful moves they can use in battle. The Bug type, which was generally considered a very weak type that's good in the early game, but not so good late game, gain a ton of very powerful moves, and actually good stats on them, so they can actually be very effective even in late game. That's why I really like the newer Pokemon games. They add so much to your Pokemon's usability that it makes building teams in the later games so much fun. I really love it. We'll go heal up at the center very quickly, but for now we want to return to the Devon Core. I know we were just here a couple minutes ago, but back then we hadn't delivered our letter. But now we have something very good for us. Hello, sir. Okay, we have to talk to you directly. Hi. You delivered my letter? Thank you kindly. This is my way of thanking you. It should help your trainer. So that's how we get the experience share. Instead of catching over 50 Pokemon in the Kanto Pokedex, we just get this thing for delivering a letter. Very sweet. Experience Share is a really good item for raising Pokemon that are lower level compared to your main team. As long as a Pokemon is holding the experience share, they will gain half of the experience earned in that battle, which is very effective for when you've got a low-level Pokemon that's not really strong enough to take on the opponents in that current area, but you still want them to earn experience. Overall, it's a very good tool. Experience share is also an item that's seen a bit of controversy in recent years. Because from Generation 2 to Generation 5, Experience Share has been a held item that only affects the Pokemon that is holding the item. But starting from Generation 6, the Experience Share has been a key item that instead of earning experience for one Pokemon, makes it so that all Pokemon in your party are able to earn experience. Which for some people can be really good so that they don't have to focus on just training one Pokemon, they can raise a lot of Pokemon at a time. But for other people, they see it as making the game too easy because you've got your whole team leveling up very quickly and they're able to get higher level compared to the opponents that they are currently facing in the game. I understand a lot of that. I definitely feel like some games make use of the experience share a lot better. Like, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I want to say, are very good at keeping the levels fairly balanced. Like, they actually factor in the experience share into the progression of the story. So you're very likely to not be over-leveled for the fights ahead. Which I feel is pretty good. And of course, by the recent generation, Generation 8, they make it so that the experience share is completely gone, and it's now standard that your Pokemon will receive a lot of... that all of your Pokemon in your party will gain experience. Boy, has that caused a lot of controversy. But anyway, let's focus on the here and now. Dewford Town Pokemon Gym Leader, Brawly, a big wave in fighting. So we got ourselves our next gym here, which specializes in the fighting type. Dewford's Gym Leader Brawly commands fighting type Pokemon. Going against him with normal type Pokemon is asking for trouble. Fighting Pokemon lay a serious smackdown on normal Pokemon, so be careful. What's worse, the gym's as dark as the ocean floor. But don't get fright after thinking the trainer's in your way. Hey, okay, go for it. So we got an interesting gym to navigate here. Things are totally dark here, and we're gonna try to navigate this area, battle the trainers here in order to expand our visibility, and hopefully we'll be able to find the gym leader. All the trainers here specialize in a fighting type, so they use Pokemon like Meditite. Meditite is interesting in that it is a fighting psychic type Pokemon, and one of the few Pokemon to bear this type combination. It can be quite good depending on what ability you end up getting with it. Ah, I lost! I bow in the dark to make my heart stronger. Because it's so dark I can never see Brawly's face. One thing I will say about Meditite is that it is definitely better in Gen 4 and beyond compared to Gen 3. Uh-oh, you stumbling around in the dark? I'll show you the gumption of a sailing man! So let's see what these two got. We got another double battle here with Lilith and Brendan. They got a Meditite and a Machop. Both Shanty and Jerk should be very good here. We have super effective moves against all of them right now. And as I said before, do not use an Aron in here, because they will not do very well. It's got an example of confusion there. Psychic-type moves are super effective against fighting Pokemon. So, up against the Meditite here, you might see your Combuskin struggling a little. In terms of the other starters, Trico and Mudkip are also pretty good to use here. There's not really anything they really have to worry about in this area. For strategies, I would recommend, for this place, I would highly recommend getting a Talo or a Wingull for this area. Some Pokemon that are also really good here are the evolutions of Whirlpool, because no matter what evolution you get on Whirlpool, they resist fighting type moves by a lot, which can make them very handy in this area. And they also get super effective moves against the fighting type Pokemon here. Another one I would recommend is the Zubat you can find in Granite Cave. It takes a while for them to learn a good flying type attack, but they have access to a what's good about them is that they are poison flying, which is also a very good typing to use against fighting types. So those Pokemon are all very good to use in this area. Another Pokemon I'd also recommend would be Ralts, but bear in mind that Ralts does not have a lot of HP and defense. So while it's definitely super effective against these Pokemon, it'll still be taking a lot of damage here. You lost because I am using a bird. Actually pretty close to clearing this area. Me to pass, it has to be through me. Okay. Christian is next with a Makuhita. So Shanty should be pretty good here. Yeah, it's very nice. And Armstrong got a level up. He's been steadily gaining experience over the course of these fights thanks to the experience share, even though he isn't actively participating in battle. Again, that's a very good reason why the experience share is a good item. Might is right, come on! Yeah, sure, whatever. Takao here's got a Machop. So we've pretty much seen every Pokemon we can actually see in this gym. And yeah, I've already gone over the tactics that are good in this area, so bear that in mind. That's pretty good. With that, I believe we have defeated every trainer in this area besides the gym leader. Yep. So we're gonna current party right now. We got plenty of wing attacks, that's good. Alright, what I'm gonna do here is let's heal up Jerk. And that should be pretty good for us right now. Also, what I would recommend is... I don't have one now. What I also recommend is trying to pick up on X Defend, because it could be good here for taking some extra damage against opponents. X Attack is also very good if you're able to set up here. I'm Brawly, Doofen's gym leader. I've been churning the rough ways of these parts, and it grows tough in the pitch black cave. So, you want to challenge me? Let me see what you're made of, dude. Why is this guy not a water gym leader? Brawly is our next opponent, leading off with a Machop. So this guy, I think I'm going to lead with using an X attack on Shanty. Okay, that's interesting. So Machop there used Bulk Up. This is Brawly's main strategy. Bulk Up raises both the attack and defense of the Pokemon, making it so that they are much harder to take out while also being much stronger. Luckily, Shanty should still be able to take out Machop. Very good. Next he's using Meditite. This Meditite is quite unique compared to the Meditite we have faced up to this point. Oh, that's interesting, it didn't go for its main strategy there. Okay, whatever. took that thing out pretty handily thanks to our +1 attack Wingull. And Brawly's final Pokemon is Makuhita. Again, this thing has a lot of HP and very high attack. This thing's also level 19, so it's significantly stronger than any Pokemon we have faced up to this point. Definitely watch out for this thing. It can be very tricky to deal with if you do not exploit its weakness to flying and psychic type moves. But with that, we managed to take out Makuhita pretty easily. Again, X items are really good. Use them. Whoa, wow, you made a much bigger splash than I expected, dude. You swamped me. Okay, you got me. Take this gym badge. This guy's such a dude, bro. And I don't know what to feel about that. And we get the Knuckle badge from Brawly. The Knuckle badge makes all Pokemon to level 30, even those you get in trades and pay off a question. You'll be able to use the ancient move Flash outside of battle, dude. You'll use this technical machine too. We received TM08 Bulk Up from Brawly. The TM08 contains Bulk Up, smooth erase of attack and defense stats. And we also register Brawly in the Pokénav. Currently in this adventure, you cannot rematch gym leaders, but much later down the line, we'll have access to that ability. I can see your talent becoming a giant wave to cause a storm of astonishment among trainers one day. Good to know, buddy. Good to know. So at that, we have done pretty much everything we're able to do in Dewford Town for the time being. Pretty good, I'd say. Whoa, turned too bright in here. Your future's bright too. Thank you. So we made a lot of good progress right now. I know it'd be kind of early for it, but I think I'm gonna call it early around an hour and 30 minutes into this stream. Just because we got a lot of progress done right now, and I don't want to overstep things. But yeah, the team is looking pretty good right now. We've beaten not one but 2 gyms, and made a lot of good progress with building our team. Oi, for you're glad to see any time. Now, my friend, where are we bound? There's nowhere else for us to go but Slateport. Pay attention to a lot of the trainers and landmarks you see around these areas. Much later on in the adventure, we will be able to go back to these places and explore the waters around. Ahoy! We may land in Slateport. Suppose you're going to visit Captain Stern and deliver the Devon goods. So we're not quite at Slateport just yet. We're on this beach over here that has quite a things of interest to us. You can have this. Soft sand. That is a good hold item. Sounds lovely. The soft sand here is an item that raises the power ground type moves and health. If you're using a Mudkip, I highly recommend it. Hey buddy, I've laid anchor at ports around the world, but Slateport's the best. So we got a lot of trainers on this beach here before we can get to Slateport City. Sailor Huey here's got a Wingull. We faced plenty of these things before. Armstrong is pretty decently leveled at this point. I think he can take it. Good work, Armstrong! Again, he might be new to the team, but he's already pulling his weight very nicely. And he's also got a mod shop. Definitely don't want to use Armstrong here, so let's go to Shanty. On some topic of other things lately, I've been kind of looking over my Steam wishlist right now and just seeing a lot of the games I've been looking forward to playing sometime but haven't gone around to it. And what with the pandemic and stuff, it'd be really good to finally get into a lot of those games. I mean, I'm still an essential worker, so I don't have total free time to do whatever I want right now, but whatever.
Ugh, sorry. Ugh. It's a little sneezy there. So right how if we're careful, we're able to get ourselves into another double battle.
Battle? With me?
I can't swim, so I'm pretending to swim. So we got some more battles here. Sailor Edmund and Tuber Haley. Hey, Haley's my name. They got a Wingle and a Meryl. Kind of interesting here. So I'll have Armstrong focus on the Wingle. And then Shanty will focus on Meryl. That should be pretty good. Hey, cut it out, buddy. Ah, very good. Yeah, because there's a lot of games that I've been really looking forward to stream. I might not get around to doing that right at this moment because I'm focusing on Emerald right now, but definitely down the line there's a lot of games I am very excited to stream. We'll see how things go in time. I'm honestly quite surprised that Meryl didn't try to attack Armstrong. You definitely would have had the type advantage there, buddy. I thought so. I didn't think we could win. And right away, we got ourselves another battle. I'm thirsty. I could go for a soda pop at the seashore house. Want to keep that in mind. That's a very good item at this point in the adventure. Tuber Ricky. He's got a Zigzagoon. Aw, it's just a Zigzagoon. We could easily handle this thing. Come on, Armstrong, take it out. Okay, we didn't get a chance to demonstrate this, but this kind of battle is interesting because it demonstrates that normal NPCs are able to teach their Pokemon HM moves. And there's a particularly nasty one that Zigzagoon can use. Will you have another match with me when I'm not all thirsty? Tuber Ricky here is another trainer we're able to register. Yeah, sucks to be you, buddy. Hockey has an item for us. X-Attack. Very nice. That replaces the one that we used in our battle against Brawly. Looks like we got another double battle up here. So let's go take on these two. Doesn't a beach umbrella look like a giant flower? Yeah, I guess so. Ta-da! See, my inner tube's round. I mean, I see a lot of flowers in the floral section of our store, so yeah, I can definitely see that. Lola and Chandler. So right here, we got an Azurill. This is what's considered a baby Pokemon. These are typically Pokemon that are very hard to obtain in the wild, and are usually only obtainable through breeding. Specifically, Azurill is the baby form of Meryl. However, you can't get an Azurill just by breeding Meryl. You're gonna need to equip your Meryl with a certain held item in order for it to lay an Azurill egg. Now, why you want to go for this besides Pokédex completion is that baby Pokemon can learn exclusive moves that their evolutions wouldn't normally obtain. So that can be very helpful for building your team with different sets that can be useful in battle. Tentacles going for the supersonic there. Quite interesting. Should still be able to handle this thing, or we could hit herself. Okay. Another thing to note about confusion damage is that confusion damage is typeless, so it's not affected by your Pokemon's type and abilities. However, confusion is affected by your Pokemon's defense and attack stats because it technically does physical damage. So if you have a Pokemon with very high attack, it will do a lot of damage with its when it hits itself in confusion.
There's quite a few strategies that take advantage of that, actually, as we'll probably see later down the line. Alright, got Armstrong and Shanty leveled up from this fight. Really good. Cesaro's going for a tail whip there. So we're almost done here. Let's take out the Cesaro, and we should be pretty good to go forward. Alright, we beat the tubers.
Mommy! Oh, too bad.
Me, I'm here every day. So Tuba Lola can be registered in the Pokénav. Showed you my round inner tube too. TMI. Look at the beach on the sky, it looks like a big flower garden. Yeah, it kinda does. So I think that does it for most of the trainers around here. Yo trainers, whether you're hot to trot or cool cat not, chill at my papa spot. That's quality writing right there. We're gonna go in there a little bit later, but not right now. Oh. The water around these parts is clean. But again, my six is going to pick up litter from the shoreline at times. Dirty water becomes rain and joins our rivers, which we drink from. If we pollute the sea, it all comes back to haunt us eventually. So I think that does it with all the trainers we can find around the beach. Yeah, that should do it. We're not quite done with things around here, but I want to call things a little early right now. So let's go straight to the Pokemon Center. What's going on here? Why are we even lining up and ping? We should just march in. Good plan, buddy. So for now, we are going to save our adventure, and we are going to call things in this session of Pokémon Emerald. So I got some more artwork to draw for this team. That'll be fun to deal with. So next time on Pokémon Emerald, we are going to see what we're able to do here in Slateport City, and then continue on our adventure to new locations. Until next time, have a good day, wash your hands, wear a mask, and take care.